Sparkle.
That's right. Let's all sparkle, everybody.
Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, and thyme. Me to one who lives there, for he once was a true love of mine. Tell him to make me a Camry shirt, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, without any seam nor needle work. Then he'll be a true love of mine. Tell him to find me an acre of land, parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme, between the salt water and sea strands, and then he'll be a true love of mine. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to one who lives there, for he once was a true love of mine. He once was a true love of mine. He once was a true love of mine.
Nice.
Very sweet.
All right. We want to give a shout out to Jax the Bard and Haley Alcott. Yeah. Jax the Bard and Haley Alcott. That's Jack's version of Scarborough Fair. That is an ancient song, so it of course is not in the public domain. Of course, we know the Paul Simon Canticle, which was an anti-war protest song.
Yeah. Well, wasn't it Simon and Garfunkel?
Yeah. It was they were contrasting innocence and true love with the horrors of war, and they chose this beautiful song that everybody who's taken choir has learned this song. Yeah. It's a very common song to teach young people who are learning harmony. And so because they were in choir together in high school, it was a song they both knew. And then Paul Simon had been working on an anti-war protest song against the Vietnam War. And Art Garfunkel was arranging harmonies, and then they decided that they would fuse the two songs together.
Really? I never knew that.
Very, very beautiful. Yeah, that's why these generals order their soldiers to kill and fight for a cause they have long ago forgotten.
Bridge over covered water.
Yeah, that was another great one, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Remember the night we saw Paul Simon at the Hollywood Bowl?
I do. I will always be grateful. I will always be grateful to your friends for comping me that ticket.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have sent them flowers or something in gratitude. Tammy.
I think Stephanie and Tammy, they gave us the tickets. Do you still have your Paul Simon t-shirt?
It got ripped to shreds in the wash but I had worn it until it torn to pieces.
Well, then it got.
I love me some Paul Simon. Yeah, that was one of my first crushes. I would just be like, I love you, Paul. I will forever love you. Well, how has your week gone? My two brothers in spirit, kindred spirits, as we should say, not in spirit, but kindred spirits. How has your week gone so far? Do tell. How have you been doing?
Well, Joel, how was your weekend?
So far, so good. I just finished. I got a little bit more touch up, but I finishing up a home improvement project in my mudroom.
That's kind
turned out nice.
It's kind of my case. Home improvement. I'm still organizing my apartment.
What kind of home improvement was this?
Oh, the mudroom was kind of dull, so I
brightened it
up. The mudroom. I have
mudroom.
The mud.
Yeah, you know where
you have a room from mud. That sounds interesting.
It's just an expression.
Bring some pigs in there.
What is a mud room?
Yes, what is a mud room?
A place where you can sit down, take off your shoes, hang your coat.
Okay.
A living room.
Take the mud off.
Not a living room, but kind of like a drop-off area where you can dump your stuff off.
The go-between area. Yes,
that's like my entire home. You know,
take your shoes. Well, in Asia, you take your shoes off before you sit.
Sign of respect.
Yes, but maybe next year we'll go to Asia. We haven't survived this trip, and then when we plan next year, we'll be planning. I don't know. I'm thinking taking you to Asia next year. It's not particularly expensive, and
you wouldn't have to twist my arm too much. I'd love to do that.
You would have to go. I would think in Asia, the best time to go. It depends on where you're going to.
South Korea and Taiwan are supposed to be great.
Really? Yeah.
Taiwan could be very hot.
I've heard very hot, very
hot.
And the food is really hot too. Taiwanese food, is that correct?
Yes. Would that be in accordance with this year?
Is that called Cantonese? Is that what they technically call Cantonese?
They got different styles. Every region has their own style of food.
Where is Canton, China? Where is the Cantonese?
The southern part of China, I believe.
Yeah.
So why is Taiwan so hot?
It's closer to the equator.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So it is the southern Cantonese.
It's a very south portion of China.
Why do people eat hot food when they're in? Because I've heard the food is a little spicier that we're comfortable with in Taiwan.
Yeah.
In the old days, if you ate a lot of hot stuff, it cut down on the infections and stuff.
Oh, that's right. Of course.
Digestion infections.
That's why
digestion problems.
That's why Indian food is so spicy.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they didn't have proper refrigeration. They had food. But I was thinking Whimsy in this year where we're supposed to be eating cooling foods, anti-inflammatory, how would foods like that work in a diet in this year of the fire horse?
Still be anti-inflammatory, even though they're hot on the many
things
of
like
these
turmeric,
foods.
for example.
More water-based vegetables and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, when we think about alkaline, we think about moving away from foods that are high in animal fat and animal protein.
Like the zucchini.
Yeah, exactly.
Zucchini, cucumbers.
Right. The client today that came in for a reading, when I got a remote on her, they were like, go alkaline. And then the client before that, it was like, go alkaline. So I had to do treatment plans for them to go, because I'll go into energy. This particular patient, not mentioning names, but just patient, had uric acid stones. And I felt like he was too much animal fat and too much animal protein, and his doctor had said the same thing. So we had to cut his protein and have him go alkaline because his pH, everything was off, and it was causing calcium and urea to form in the kidneys.
Yeah, even if he ate also candidate for gout, I would think.
Yes, he had gout and he had uric acid. And the other problem with acid is that if you have too much acid in the blood, too much acid in the system, then the body will attempt to alkaline it by pulling calcium.
I was just going to say,
I think that was in your final exam.
Exactly. Leach calcium from the bones, because I was doing research about a year or two ago for a friend of mine who has kidney stones, and I was researching.
You're really strong on urology. I think you're stronger on urology than I
seem to be for some reason.
You're very strong on urology.
I feel so sorry for people with kidney stones.
Oh yeah. Well, in this case,
Wow.
he was fearful of kidney stones because it
Oh.
ran in his family, and he was asking me for advice on how to prevent. And I did a lot of research, but a lot of it was based on what you taught me, Whimsy. It was just like a nice refresher course.
Yeah, I think like when you did your final to get licensed, when you became a physician's assistant under me, you had. I do recall that you got 100% on urology.
I did. I didn't remember that.
I think neuroscience was what you got 1 or 2 wrong in neuroscience.
Well,
I know this is he took a 98%. So don't think he graduated with a 98 percentile.
Well, it's because you're an incredible teacher, Whimsy.
Oh, he always says that.
Well, it's true.
He studied his ass off.
I put you through hell. You worried about me a few times, I think, but you.
Passing your midterm, passing your final.
Yeah, no, you were very gracious.
No, I think you did.
Giving and you were also patient with me, and that made a big difference.
Oh.
And you knew how to relate to me. You knew how to relate to me as
I remember that.
Visual.
He's an artist, and he had to complete his studies in physiology.
Yeah.
And anatomy.
You encouraged me to use
and preventative medicine treatment, but I thought you were going to lose it with the muscle exams. You had to memorize every muscle in the human body.
So
insertion and I think that was the hardest for you, right?
But it may have been, but you stayed very patient with me. And what really helped me more than anything, you said, don't think of medicine as a science, think of it as an art.
Well, I remember you did get the coloring book. He got and he was drawing the coloring book. It's like the insertion point of the gastrocnemius and this insertion of the sartorius.
But you knew how to relate to me. You knew how to teach me.
No, you did great. Well, Chuck, let's turn the camera around and let's start saying hi to people.
Well, let's start saying hello here. Well, we have Ann Coleman here.
Hi, Ann.
And we have, you have to excuse my eyes here, Down Plunkett Toll. So sorry. I'm waiting on
Dawn Plunkett.
Dawn Plunkett, 4749. Please pardon me. I'm still waiting on these contacts on Saturday to come in. Jess Miskey. Oh, look, we have Joel Tilson here, our floor director. Hi, Joel. Gigi, the wonderful Gigi Pardo Lord. The Sybil 5D. We have, let me scroll down, Brenda Rakestraw, Rockin' Pony Lady. We have Renee Ament. Keep scrolling here. Tarot by Sharona. 262. Jennifer Petunia 7. Paperback Writer 123. We have Tori V. Sun Moon.
Hi, Tori.
We have Vincent Worm 9567. I'll be so glad I get my contacts. This is embarrassing. We have Jim. Is that Imjurst? We have Geocosmic Valentine. Hi there. Kimberly by Fitpold. Trying not to repeat names here. Vil Marrow, 1338, Debbie Horseman. Go a little further here. Sally Joe. Hey, Sally Joe. Crafting and Conjuring. I love that name.
Well, we will keep saying hi to everybody as they go along. And of course, it is great to see you all. I think we should just go into the main headline today. Melania Trump blasts lies linking her to Epstein and calls on Congress to hold hearing for victims. Any feelings from either of you about her response? And do you think that we should be like even watching this? I don't know.
I wonder how much of this was Donald putting her up to this and how much of it was her just saying, no, I'm sick of people saying this about me. I want to clear the record here. And it was intriguing that she called upon the victims to testify before Congress. And that's the one thing I feel like was more her. That was her own feelings. I don't know. How did you feel, Joel?
I feel that she probably went out on a limb on this one.
Yeah, she rarely speaks.
It's rare. But having the hearings for victims, I think, is a great idea.
Of course it is.
Wait a minute. If she is saying I'm a little confused here. Is she saying she wants
the hearings?
Yeah, she said that. I'm paraphrasing, but I think she said I encouraged the victims to testify before Congress.
So but what is she cooking up? I mean, because my feeling is that what is it? She plans on terrorizing them and calling them liars. What the hell is this? Why would she do that? She never had that's a lie. We know she did have a relationship with Epstein. We can see photographs of her flirting with Epstein. This is absurd.
Well, and also there was email correspondence with Ghislaine Maxwell, I believe, and she denied knowing her.
Well, regardless, Ivanka Trump is writing back and forth with Ghislaine. And Melania saying, "I'm sorry, sweetie, but I just can't get together with you right now." Right? Is that correct?
Yes, something
but
like
Ivanka
that.
was hanging out with Ghislaine as well. So I'm baffled. And I don't see, how does this exonerate her in any way?
It doesn't.
Help me understand. Okay.
Yeah.
So what the hell is she doing? Does this tell us, I guess my next question, and great to see you all, Sweet Pea, right? Take a seat, grab a margarita. This is the happy hour show. We welcome you to have a drink. Of course, I am having a beautiful cup of coffee. I don't know what Chuck is having.
I'm having lemon water.
Oh, lovely.
Iced tea.
Yeah.
What are you having?
Iced tea.
Oh, lovely. Any sugar in that iced tea?
A little.
All right, I forgive you. Well, I'm having coffee with a little bit of sugar because, boy, I was up at 4:30 this morning, and I sure do need it. So help me to understand what the hell is going on.
I think she's deflecting.
You do?
I really think so.
Yeah, because it's not the first time she has defied her husband. She's spoken out. I'm trying to think of some examples. And remember that time she had that coat on the back of it, she painted, I don't really care, do you, or something. She's done little defiant things.
But don't you think that was more about the fact that the mistress of Donald Trump had come out and said, I loved him and he loved me, and blah, blah. She actually, like, how your mistress is up there saying that we had sex and we loved each other, and here I am pregnant with his child. I'm sorry, but I would have been the whole entire world was laughing at her face. So I understand why she put on a coat saying, I don't care. Mm-hmm. Do you care? Do you care at all about this? Do you care about me, or do you just want to hurt people? So I do think that that's where she was coming from. I don't think it had anything to do with her earlier that day. She wore the coat after she left, and she put it on because she wanted to make a statement about the fact. I think I'll give her street cred for a couple of things that she's done. She came out pro-choice, for example.
That's something she did. She did come out pro-choice.
And kudos to her that she figured out a way to cash in on her looks, because when the looks are gone, baby don't have much else, right? So she cashed in, and she's clearly got some kind of a deal with Trump.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
please go ahead.
The press has uncovered checks, paycheck stubs. I think they found the one where she was paid to appear at the Republican convention, the year before. That was proven that she's on the payroll.
Right. So what we have here is a very attractive, expensive, maybe a prostitute, you might call her. I mean, not to be disrespectful. Yeah, and I think that why is she, maybe she's publicly embarrassed, but if she was trafficked and survived and played the game and flirted in order to come out ahead, kudos for her. She got a visa out of the deal. She got American citizenship. She wound up being one of the richest women in America.
She's ahead of the game.
She's ahead of the game. But she is in a prime situation of power now where she could really help those women and other women who've been trafficked. And she's not doing that with her platform.
Yeah, well, I mean, there basically has been no platform with this woman. She's been one of the most, my opinion, one of the most worthless first ladies we've ever had in American history. Many times she disappears for weeks at a time. Some have speculated she doesn't even live in the White House.
Yeah.
And you're right, as first lady, as we've seen with previous first ladies, she could be doing so much good with her position if she were to choose to do so.
Well, wasn't there an office in the East Wing?
Oh, that's right.
Sure, of course.
The East Wing was where the first lady had her office, and her staff was in the East Wing. It's all
destroyed now.
And she didn't seem too concerned about it now, did she? Probably because she never went there. Yeah.
Never went there.
Yeah.
She lives in her apartment in New York.
I'm working my fucking ass off with this Christmas. What's with this? Who gives a fuck about Christmas?
Oh my God, that was bad.
I'm working my fucking ass off.
That's right. That recording. Who gives a fuck? Oh, and people compare her to Jackie Kennedy.
As if she have not to. Now, you know that I am all about female power, and I am a feminist. But my God, it was like she was having a really bad PMS, and then she just plastered her used tampons all over those Christmas trees.
That's right. People said that.
They did. I thought I just came up with it. It's like blood all over the place. As Trump would say.
How old is she now? 52 or something like that?
I think she's like maybe 55 or 56. I could look her up real quick if you'd like.
There were blood red Christmas trees all over.
Yes, I remember that.
Menopausal.
Oh.
And I am all about female power, but I will be the first to own the fact that I am a warrioress when I am PMSing. Melania
Trump was born April 26, 1970. Yes, she's about to turn 56.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know,
maybe she's got her head in the freezer right now. Cool.
Well, she's well rested. I think a Joan Rivers joke. Yeah, well rested. She rested on the operating table for about 9 hours.
Yeah.
Remember that time during the first administration where she disappeared for several weeks and they said she had kidney trouble or something? She was probably out getting a facelift or something.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Let's start reading some comments.
Well, how's this for a comment? Melania as first lady is a total embarrassment. Yeah, I'll agree with that. She fell in a pile of doo-doo and came out smelling like a rose. That's from Paperback Writer.
Do you think there's some point to that? I mean, it's a joke, but Paperback Writer is making a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That she did make it happen for herself.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. I mean, it is quite a story. If the true story were ever told of her life, not that Amazon documentary thing, which I haven't watched. I don't know if you've seen it. Anyway, from Shelley OC, Melania could care less about anyone but her and hers. Yes, so far I'm agreeing with the comments here. We're being bad. The Sybil 5D, she's a D-class hooker.
F-class.
She Melissa White. People are really jumping onto this one. She is Donald's match. Yes, she is. Those two deserve each other. Yes, and Jalinda 5181 is saying you should throw some cards on her agenda. I was thinking that myself, Whimsy.
Right.
When it comes time to do our blitz, we should throw some cards.
I think we'll go ahead and do the blitzes now. And of course, we want to make an announcement that we have a new book of the month for the book of I'm sorry, I'm coughing. We have a special book of the month selected for our book of the month club. And the winner of the April selection for book of the month goes to Carolina Montague. Carolina Montague, congratulations. You were selected for our April book of the month. And the book is Door in the Sky. I love that idea of a door in the sky, like a portal.
A portal.
Yeah, it's a portal.
Yeah.
Were you able to get a hold of her?
I did, yes, and she's looking forward to the interview. This, of course, will be the book that I take with me. I'm going on spring break.
I was just going to say the same.
We're finally getting a spring break, and I look forward to that. And of course, I'm having horrible allergies, but I'm trying not to be overly. Somebody mailed me Epsom salt and Allegra, and whoever you are, thank you. So somebody is probably telling me right now I should take it. But let me, please go ahead if you wish us to pray for you or to pray for those you care about. We can go ahead and pray for you as we bring in the empath's prayer. I need to go and grab the bell. You guys can go ahead and talk while I do that. And I am going to grab the Allegra that somebody gifted me. Excuse me.
Oh, Joel, I guess we need to talk amongst ourselves.
I guess so.
Topic here.
Yeah, when Melania leaves, where does she go?
Well, I've always suspected, as you said, that she lives in the apartment in Trump Tower. I'm sure she goes there, but who knows? She probably takes off to Europe or the Amazon or the Orient. I mean, she probably travels a lot. Who knows? Maybe I shouldn't say this, but maybe she even has a lover too stashed away somewhere in the world, but anywhere but Washington, D.C., anywhere but the White House, and most certainly anywhere but with her husband.
What's the story? Somebody had said she's with a pool boy or something like that.
Well, there are all kinds of rumors, and I was even a little reluctant to say that out loud when it's not substantiated. Boy toys, but it has been speculated.
Can you blame her? She's got diaper boy or some beautiful hot pool boy. I'll take that. I am a raging heterosexual female. Bring on the pool boy.
Pool boy or man in diapers.
Girl got to do what a girl got to do. Know what I'm saying? There's only so much of diaper Don. You need a break from diaper Don. You call the pool boy. Come on now. It's not like diaper Don cares. It's not like diaper Don isn't off doing whatever the hell he likes. Often against the will of the people he's doing it to.
Well, I mean, remember when she was pregnant with Barron and he was off with a porn star having an affair? I mean,
yeah, exactly. I Don't Care To You was about that. The porn star
probably so.
Not the porn star, the other one.
Yeah. Well, you and I are so sensitive to body language, energy that people give off. Didn't you get the creeps when you saw them dancing together at the inaugural ball? The way their bodies weren't even touching.
I don't think they'd ever danced together. I got the impression that they had never danced
together. They just looked so awkward and so uncomfortable with each other.
Yeah, like this is not a man that has ever danced. But, Obama said he doesn't dance with his wife. He doesn't know how to dance.
Yeah.
He was like stepping on her dress, stepping multiple times. People laughed.
But in their case, they're in love.
Yeah, whereas the Carters danced and Rosalind Carter studied dance. So she was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, did you see their wedding where they were doing this? And he's like, do it, Rosalind, and she twirled like Ginger Rogers. And
wow.
They were like, those are Southern people, though. The Southern people, they court, they go dancing.
Well, also,
so it's part of the culture. Also, you have to consider.
Betty Ford was a trained dancer. Didn't she dance with Martha Graham?
I think so, but so did Rosalind Carter. She could dance too. They waltzed, but that was how you went courting back in the day. And it's a shame that those old dance halls have closed down. We used to have them here in Oregon too. You would go and you'd pay a few dollars to get in, and they would have all the free punch you like, and you would go a courting. Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful concept.
Reagan's danced a lot too.
Yeah, I believe the Reagans did as well.
Yes, well, they were, of course, from Hollywood, the studios where you were actually required to know how to dance. And
my dancer.
I was friends with Evelyn.
Yeah, I just remember that Rosalind could dance.
Yeah, Evelyn told me that when you were under the studio system, they expected you to know everything and dance.
That's kind of cool.
You to know how to sing, carry yourself, model, all of that. So.
Well, it's amazing how many actors and performers really are great singers. Like nobody knew Anne Hathaway could sing until she did Les Mis.
And oh my God, and Meryl Streep. And aside from being the greatest actress in the world, she's a fabulous singer. She's sung in several of her movies, like Postcards from the Edge. Mamma Mia. She starred in Mamma Mia. Oh my God, she's.
Who's another one is Ryan Gosling.
Oh well, he was a musketeer.
Yes.
He was a musketeer. Isn't that amazing? Well, let's go
My
ahead.
daughter was raving over that Hail Mary over the weekend.
You know who else is a really great singer? I'm blanking on her name. The Irish actress who won the Best Actress Oscar this year. I did not know that she came from musical theater. I saw some clips from her. Amazing voice. I'm blanking on her name, but she won the Best Actress Oscar this year. She's from Ireland for the movie Hamnet. Gorgeous voice.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, a real Broadway belter type of.
But I liked Gene Kelly and Singing in the Rain, but he was heavily slammed for his vocals that he could not sing. They said he had a terrible voice, but I liked it. I thought it was
decent. I thought he was decent.
Yeah.
Really? Like he couldn't carry a tune, they say. He worked a lot with the studios, but evidently he could not carry a tune. Yeah. He was pretty flat. I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, we got through it though because we love Gene Kelly, but he was not he was a terrible singer. They must have really had to work with him.
More than made up for it though with his dance.
Singing in the Rain was slow, so it required less vocal control.
I love that movie.
Yeah, I mean, like you hear it in his voice and you can hear he's flat as hell, but he makes it work.
He made it work. Because you know what? He was very charismatic, charming. He made it work that way. Yeah,
it's supposed to be much sharper. I'm ready for... It was like, it's okay. They gave up with him. He was never going to have an ear. But like you said, he made up for it because he was a hell of a great dancer. But you know who was just as good as him was Donald's. Who was the other guy who walked up the...
Donald O'Connor.
Donald O'Connor. Who
Make him laugh. Make him laugh.
He could sing and dance, and he was hot competition for Gene Kelly. When he walked up that wall, I was like, "Holy hell!"
Oh my God, I love that movie.
That was incredible.
I love that movie. Lena Lamont.
Yes. Okay. I can feel the itching of our children here. Yes. Okay.
Get on with it.
All right. Let's bring in the Empath's prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen.
Amen.
And for those of you who are requesting a healing today, we come together at this time and we pray. We pray that you and those you love receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and in spirit. And together again, collectively as a community, we say, Amen, Amen, Amen. Amen. May all souls be healed.
May all souls be healed.
You guys want to look at the future of Melania? I'm a little worried for her. I don't really have a lot of animosity for her like I do.
She's going to go back to Europe.
For her husband. You think so?
I really think so.
Is that what you're feeling?
Yeah.
Why? Because it's less heat there?
A lot less heat.
Yeah.
She's from Slovenia, right?
Yeah.
So do you think she'll probably, I know they made a statue to her. She'll probably come back as a hero.
Yeah.
Once her husband dies, she can go back as a widow, have a nice villa there, be the belle of the ball.
I just wonder how much for a prenup she gets.
Yeah. Whimsy, it's so spooky when you said when her husband dies.
Oh, you got death?
But I'm still pulling cards, but the very second you said that jumped out, but I'm still putting things in context here.
What do you
got? The same thing. What the hell?
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Oh, I don't know how much further to go with these cards here, but
okay, well, I get somebody, the casket can be deep meditation or thought. It could be that she's contemplating her life. The thing is I believe that she was raised devout Catholic, if I'm not mistaken. She got to meet the Pope.
Yes.
She has a consciousness. There's a consciousness there that her husband doesn't have, but she presents as, this is a woman that wants to be buried at the church grounds. This is a person who might have a mausoleum at the church where, she wants to be sainted by the church. That's what I see, a woman buried at the church with full rights, who is, working on sainthood. Now look at her house of opposition, which would be her husband. Heart disease, heart attack, heartbreak.
Yeah.
But then you have these two together, and that's disturbing. In the grave, heart attack. So that's interesting. Mm-hmm. She fears her legacy. 10 of Pentacles. She wants her son to have a good legacy. So it could be that she goes back there. She works on building charities, improving her reputation. She there's a part of her when she was a girl, she wanted to be a nun.
Oh,
yeah. I wanted to be a nun. I never knew. I wanted to be a nun too when I was a little girl. I was devastated when I found out you're Jewish. I can't be a nun. I think I was watching The Flying Nun or something. I want to be a nun. It's not going to happen.
You know what you're reminding me of? Remember Barbara Streisand in Funny Girl, and she goes, "Would a convent take a Jewish girl?"
Oh, it's also that movie with Winona Ryder and Cher, where she's like praying.
Oh, yes,
she wants to be a nun. I'm going to be a nun.
We're Jewish.
Right. Every Jewish girl wants to be a nun, right? I just thought they looked really cool. I just love the outfits and everything. But she's thinking about her inheritance. Look at this. And the fear of being locked out of her church.
Oh, my.
Look at that. Maybe that is the 5 of Pentacles.
Well,
I'm seeing a lot of church imagery here, being locked out of the church. This guy is ruining my reputation.
Yeah.
This guy is locking me out of my church. The Pope is condemning him. I'm a Catholic. I'm trying to, I wanted to be a nun when I was a little girl. What the hell is this? What have I gotten myself into?
Yeah.
So, and then she thinks about her legacy, the 10 of Pentacles. So here, good point that she could go back to her faith and try and do some good in the world. I actually don't have this huge animosity towards her that other people do, because
I don't.
She's married. Look, I was married to a sociopath. I know how that goes. It's like, it's not so easy to get away from them,
Yeah. Well, Whimsy, I got some very similar things to you. That's why I even gasped a little when you said that about death of her husband. I got that card. But anyway, she is worried about her reputation. She feels her reputation presently has been sullied, dirtied. I got cards in the beginning like deceit, shadow, stuff about that. And she is eager. I take this to mean like what you said about her legacy. She wants to tell the truth. She wants the truth to come up. I got the family card. I take that to mean she's very devoted to Baron. Family, that's very important to her. I think also her own family, maybe perhaps her family back in Europe, her mother and father, I believe, are still living. So she's very concerned about that. Very concerned. She wants the truth to rise to the surface. Like you said, her legacy, she wants to improve that. I got that she's making a lot of decisions right now. She's moving toward her purpose, and her purpose is a new beginning. Like you said, Joel, about you see her perhaps moving to Europe, starting over, new beginning, once a certain someone is out of the picture and she's free. And of course, when we get a card like this, we never are predicting a physical death. It can be just like, it could be death of his presidency, death of a way, but you got some cards, Whimsy, that do kind of tie in with that. And that's very interesting that this came out just as you said that. It just flew out of my deck.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say that I see her probably marrying a billionaire one of these days after he's gone, after Trump is gone.
Quite possibly, but
another Onassis.
Oh, you possibly. Think so?
Yeah, but
she might.
But yeah, that's coming through. She cares about her image. She cares about her family. It's new beginnings.
Right.
But I just feel right now she feels very sullied by all of this. And that might be one of the reasons why she went out and spoke today. Being her own woman, like I'm tired of this crap,
Yeah, there was a picture of her. I think it was her first communion. And she had some difficulties because here it is, a Catholic school. She was a Catholic schoolgirl, and she took her first communion and grew up very devoted to the faith, and she wanted to be a nun, so I thought it was kind of interesting what Geocosmic Valentine said. She has that she has a conflict between the whore and the nun.
Yeah. Which for some men, that's a fantasy. Didn't Lenny Bruce make that joke that every man is looking for a combination of the Virgin Mary and a $10 a night whore?
Oh, dear God.
I mean, forgive me. I know that's a sexist comment. Lenny Bruce said that, though.
She is very beautiful.
She is.
Yeah, there's a couple pictures of her modeling, and then the other one was this is her when she was a child. Cute. Yeah, but she modeled at a very young age. But I think that first picture was her. This is her with her mother, but that first picture is this is the modeling, but that's actually Catholic school.
My wife was
that dress.
She was beautiful.
She was a beautiful. So I get the conflict that she must have. Well, if you're, how you're raised as a child, particularly as you get older, you want to go back to that.
Well, something else. She never wanted this public life. I think when she married Trump, she thought she was just going to be another trophy wife. She didn't know she was going to be the first lady of the land and be under this microscope. But I don't think she ever sought this.
My late wife went to Catholic school up until it graduated from Catholic high school in the Philippines. Well,
a lot, I know the Jesuits. I have friends who studied with the Jesuits. Was the best possible education you could get. My friends that went to Catholic school in Seattle, they had great educations, but the priest was corrupt. They all got molested, and it became one of the first lawsuits against the church. But the nuns were amazing. It's kind of like that what was that play, Doubt, with Meryl Streep?
Oh, yes.
About the nuns were harsh but compassionate, and the priests were crazy.
That was an incredible movie.
Yeah. So I think, the question that people really want to know is, I have mixed feelings about this. Is she going to be outed? Are there tapes, or is she going to be outed as an Epstein girl? That's really what you guys are asking, because I get emails before the show, and this was the number one topic. And I hear you guys. We do try to get to what you guys want to see, but the number one topic had to do with Melania and what she had come out and said. So here, do you think that Melania is preparing for some new revelation from the Epstein files? Thank you, Marie. This is a question I got from the email today.
That's a good point.
Maybe she will eventually throw Trump under the bus. Could you guys speak to that a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and throw cards?
I actually resonate with this. That makes some sense, because she so rarely speaks publicly like this, and to make a national address wasn't it on live TV today? That's very rare for her. So I think maybe she is trying to protect herself.
She's trying to redeem herself.
Yeah.
I think she can. Let's look. I want to be very clear here, separating her from her husband and how hard it is when you are in a situation like that with a predator. It's not so simple to leave. Trust me, I was in her shoes, but I didn't have that kind of money. I was the breadwinner in the family. But
do you think we'll have hearings?
And you have a child involved. I'm willing to throw her some grace. She didn't rape a kid. She didn't do these things, and she may choose to want to believe Trump's crap.
Well,
but I would like to believe that she is going to go back to the fact that we're getting a lot of comments on this. The fact that she made the statement today leads me to think the heat must be on her.
It must
separate from this guy, the people that love and care about her. It's like when do you remember those pictures of Melania that were heated, where she was in a heated conversation with her father? What was it? In a heated conversation with her father at Mar-a-Lago?
I don't recall that.
Go ahead.
While you're looking, I was just going to address that. Maybe she will eventually throw Trump under the bus to protect herself. I have no difficulty in believing that. And it could be, if he does pass on, we're not saying it's going to happen, but I think once she is completely free of him, she's going to remember. I got that card, the truth. I think she's eager to speak the truth, and she will exonerate herself. And if that means, quote unquote, throwing him under the bus, frankly, he threw her under the bus a number of times.
Yeah, it was basically that it was a heated conversation at Mar-a-Lago over Christmas.
This most recent Christmas?
It was pictures of them together. And, you know, the fact that it happened at all has led people to believe that the fact that she was that animated in public with her father there, the fact that this guy is suing her because he wants to depose her. Come out and talk to us, Melania, about your relationship, because Wolf has said, I've got evidence from witnesses. I've got the evidence that you were trafficked by Epstein. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Can you hear this? Oh,
No.
Table. How do you think it is waking up on Christmas morning at Mar-a-Lago, looking frankly quite bored at Christmas Eve dinner?
He apparently spent Christmas Eve night posting on Truth Social, I think over 100 posts. So I assume that he sat up in bed and just went crazy.
We saw him having dinner on the Mar-a-Lago patio with Melania and his father-in-law, Victor. What was notable was how animated our First Lady looked with her father when we are not used to seeing her looking remotely animated.
And just to set the scene, so they are on the Mar-a-Lago terrace. It is filled with other members. We're in the high season now. And why these people are not having their Christmas Eve with their families, we can only guess. But Donald Trump is where he always is, at the table in the center with a red rope around his table. Why there is this red rope around his table is kind of confusing, because the table is right in the center of everything. The red rope is certainly not protecting him. Everybody on the terrace comes up to him. It's not as if stay away. Actually, it's come a little closer.
Right. So the point is that they're making here is that when the Epstein stuff leaked, she was clearly freaking out because she couldn't control the story.
Yeah.
Then Wolf said he had evidence showing that she had in fact been trafficked by Epstein. And so she denied it, threatened to sue him. And now Michael Wolf is saying, great, I'm going to subpoena all your documents. I'm going to depose you since you've threatened me. And we're going to move towards a countersuit.
Disclosure.
I did when my perpetrator started calling me a liar and threatening me with an attorney. The attorney that represented me was the chair of the DNC out of Hawaii. The chair of the freaking DNC. And he was like, samurai. And usually these perps will crawl away. They don't want to be deposed. They don't want to be in that situation. So Melania is in a very bad, I would think, a very bad situation right now.
She better drop it. She better drop it.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Good to see you all here.
Yeah.
Like, share, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it.
Whimsy, do you think there's a chance she defied her husband when she spoke today? Or would she have even been allowed to do that?
I think that if she's smart, based on the cards, she wants to get to heaven. She wants the Pope. She wants to get to heaven. She wants to clean up her reputation. If she's got half a brain, she's going to separate. She is going to separate herself from her husband over this issue. Otherwise, why make the statement? She must have her own attorney and her own people saying, you need to distance yourself from this motherfucker as fast as possible. Pardon my French. Because he is going down. He is going down. And you better take care of yourself. That's what I feel. And I feel like her lawyers told her, you better do this.
Well, she's a shrewd woman. We know that much about her. Very shrewd. And I think
she admires Pope Leo a lot.
Yeah.
Admires it.
I think it would be very hard if I was raised Catholic, if I was raised with those values, for me to continue to defend this guy.
Yes. Yes.
Because I'm telling you, I know people that are involved in the Catholic Church, and they say we are cleaning house. They even get a hint that some priest is like 100 people with the phone calls. They have got a network now. They don't care who you are. They're particularly with this new pope.
Oh yeah.
Every pedo is going down, and so they will show no mercy. Not with this new energy over the church.
And did you see where Pope Leo said he refuses to go to America until Donald Trump is out of office?
Can't blame him.
Yeah.
What do you do with that?
Yeah.
What do you do with that? What's she going to do with that? As a Catholic, how is she? Of course, save yourself.
Yeah, save herself. Save herself. That's what I think you and I both got in our card reading. Now, what are we asking right now, Whimsy? I'm so sorry.
If she is going to cooperate with the Epstein investigation. Save yourself, girl. Is she the woman that will eventually have to go against Trump? That means she's going to, good God.
Wow. You know what?
But it doesn't surprise me at all because of the direction the church has been going this way for a while. No more dirty old men in the church. And thank God they're finally doing this. But this Leo guy, he will throw him in the frickin' oven. He is so done with this because it hurt the church and it hurt their parishioners. So it's good. It's good what's happening.
Yeah. Well, I've been saying for months that I feel it's within Trump's inner circle, somebody close to him, bringing him down. I never thought of Melania. She could be part of that. But
I think he's in a lot of trouble with Melania. I think he's in a lot of trouble with Melania, and it feels to me as if she received legal counsel separate from Trump, and she was advised not to think about protecting him, but protecting herself, and she is building a case to defend herself. High priestess in the 7th house. That which is hidden will be revealed, and it is the law. Her house of opposition, her partnerships. Hope and fear. The family, the marriage, final outcome, gone, baby, gone. The Chariot, which goes back to what Joel had picked up. What Joel had sensed was that it's very likely that she's gone, baby, gone. And that's actually confirms what you had said, Joel. She's gone, baby, gone with the Chariot. Damn, girl, she's flying out of there. Goodbye, New York. She can't ever go to New York again.
No,
she can go, but who the hell can go there when you...
Yeah.
She's more comfortable in Europe.
Yeah. Are you still reading, Whimsy? I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, you are done. Okay.
No, I'm done. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I got some cards like discontent, exhaustion. She is sick to death of all of this shadow that's underneath all this, the discontent. She's tired of it. She's looking at this as taking care of her own business. She is making decisions right now. She's using her imagination, her creativity, her thinking, planning this out. Now, look what came out again. Death card just jumped out again.
Yeah.
And then after the death card, I got new beginnings, new life. And then, you know how Whimsy wants to redeem herself? She wants to rise above.
Yeah. I think so.
Because I got the life force card, Aphrodite, rising up.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So that was my final card I got.
Yeah, she's not Trump. She's married to him, and maybe as a wife, she's in the middle of this.
Yeah. But it's just interesting this keeps coming up.
Right. She has not done anything so terrible that she cannot seek redemption at this point.
Yeah.
She hasn't committed a cardinal sin.
I just wonder if she's separated.
Oh, I think so, because that looked to me
years.
like she had gone to an attorney. She had a team of attorneys separate from her husband, and they said, he is going down with the ship, and you better just think about yourself. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah. I even wonder when the last time was she ever spent a night in the White House, if she ever even did.
Oh, I think maybe, but I can't imagine they would be in the same room together.
No. Yeah. What will be the outcome of Pam Bondi testifying? Will she still be forced to testify, or will she get away with it?
This is something I definitely also want to talk about, which has to do with the ever-changing Pam Bondi. This is a phenomenon that seems to happen repeatedly, with Trump, which is that his biggest loyalists are the ones that get into legal trouble the soonest. And they are often the people that have to turn on him the fastest, aka Michael Cohen and Anthony Scaramucci. I mean, these are the biggest fans, take the biggest hit, and then they go after him the hardest. You guys want to talk about that a little bit?
I was thinking, didn't Scaramucci only last like 10 days?
10 days.
Yeah, it was very quick. Yeah.
But he had been loyal for a long time.
Oh, he had. And he definitely turned on Trump. Still turns on Trump. But that just came to mind that it was very, very short, his tenure. But yeah, to be a loyalist of Trump, you would have to.
Unconditional.
Yeah, unconditional. You'd have
Did you read for our people that listen? Because we have people listening on radio that can't see. Did we read this question already? Did you read it?
Yes, I did read it out loud.
Okay. Thank you, Jill Linda 5181.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I didn't see your name.
Yeah. So basically, let's take a look at what's going to happen to Pam Bondi. Again, the biggest loyalists are the first to go to jail, the first to do time for him.
Ooh, this doesn't look good. Well, I think she is going to have to testify because she doesn't have any protection anymore. She's not the attorney general. Isn't she a private citizen now?
Do you think that
she's still got a job, but it's some low-level job now.
Yeah, I don't think she has. I don't think she's going to be kept from testifying.
Shouldn't.
Yeah, she should not be. This is not looking good. My cards, I'm still pulling.
Okay, let's take a look. Now I'm curious.
Oh my God. What popped up here?
She's got too much evidence.
Oh, this is not good. Should I just go first real quick?
Go ahead, please.
All right. Well, obviously a lot of shame. I think she's in a lot of denial about this, but a lot of shame. But then I got judgment, solitude. I take that to mean like being sent away to be alone somewhere. I then got restriction, chains, locks, and ultimately loss. I don't think it looks good for her.
So can I ask a question? What exactly is it that she could be? Is she being accused and facing a possible criminal probe for destroying evidence? Is that correct? Or what is the actual accusation?
Yes.
Can you speak on that, Joel? Can you speak about what the actual accusation is against her?
Well, it's first of all, it's the cover up of the Epstein files. That's one.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you got the
obstruction of justice, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And then all this redactions that were done, where all those pages were blacked out. That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got all this evidence on the ranch in New Mexico, Epstein's ranch. Yeah. That's another one.
Oh, wow.
Where all those bodies are buried at. And then who knows what else is on Epstein Island. There might be bodies on Epstein Island.
Yeah.
I'm getting that. Yeah, go ahead.
It's bad. There's a lot of victims.
Yeah.
And once it all comes out,
like how deep is the water table? Eventually, with the salt water and everything, the bodies are not going to be there now.
But they will be in the Zorro Ranch in New Mexico.
Unless they dissolved them. This is looking to me like she's going to get legal help from the GOP.
Really?
Just like his former assistant got help from the GOP. Mm-hmm. That pretty brunette that used to be work in the fashion industry that Ivanka got in there, Ivanka's friend. Yeah. She was just this pretty little girl. I don't know anything about Don Jr. So you have the thief's card in the 7th house, an attempt to flee a crime, right? Run like a thief. And then her 4 of Pentacles, the ability to keep your mouth shut, or frugality, it's to hold back. So I think that they are going to do what they can to supply their lawyers and tell her fifth. I don't see her cooperating at all. She wants to get the hell out of there. 6 of Swords and, King of Cups and the 4 of Wands. This is like, I want to go off with my boyfriend or my husband. I want to have a salad and go do lunch with my girlfriends.
Oh,
it's that.
Good luck there, honey. Yeah.
So I don't see redemption here right now.
Yeah,
Do you see redemption?
I see her in a lot of trouble. Like possibly prison.
I really hate to. Okay, this question has come up a lot, so we might as well. I've been delaying on this question. I get a lot of people requesting, and I don't want to go there, but let's finally go there.
Shall I read this? And this is, of course, from Geocosmic Valentine. They are also saying that bodies may be buried at the ranch next door to the Zorro Ranch. Well,
do we have to? I mean, it's just so horrible. This is just so terrible.
Awful.
Yeah. I mean, it would not shock any of us if that's true.
Have you guys?
Witnesses, guys. Too many witnesses.
Have you guys listened to Sacha Baros? He is so believable.
Yes.
Sacha Riley Baros.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it in its
They
entirety,
used him. They broke his bones. They did terrible things to him, and then he got sold. He was owned by a group of hillbillies out of Oklahoma. Well, he was owned by hillbillies in Alabama, and they found the place where the kids were buried. It was an expose 2 years ago. They arrested them. It was these hillbillies. They had a farm, and they had dug a hole underground, and there was a bed there, and the kids were kept there, and people would go down and molest them. And we're talking 50 feet down or something. So they finally broke that case, and Sacha Baros, depending, he was sold out of Alabama to another group of predators out of Oklahoma. So now they're finding where these kids were being raped, but he was sold to a rich group of people. Now why this is starting to look, why private investigators are starting to look. At first, nobody believed him. The guy was publishing for years, but now private investigators are coming in and trying to help him with his memories. There's 2 or 3 now that have volunteered to work for free. But one of the things they found was that kids out of Michigan were shipped to a pedophile ring kids out of Oklahoma were shipped to a pedophile ring in Michigan. So it's not just Sacha Baros that's making this claim. There are other people, including a 13-year-old girl who got pregnant, her baby. She had a baby from her father or uncle, and it was thrown over the yacht. She testified that Trump was there when that happened. And here's where it starts to get weird. That is the same exact time, this is why it starts to get creepy, that Epstein had been associated with a school out of Michigan where he had been teaching, and that he was a patron of at the same exact time. And his time, they say, according to the investigation I did, and I assume the investigators had found out, was opaque. Nobody knew what he was doing in 83, 84, 85. According to Baros, he was shopping around wanting to get into this little business with kids. So you think about when did the FBI finally begin to take notice of Epstein? They left him alone when he was buying kids in Michigan that were sold out of Oklahoma. That appears to be what happened. That's what's starting to come out about this opaque time with Epstein.
He paid off a bunch of people. I know that.
What a bunch of sick people. But what's horrifying about this, and that's the point at which he gets on planes and he goes to places like Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard. And these rich people show up, and he's on the plane. He remembers going to an island, going to places. What's interesting is that when I've done remote views on Lindsey Graham, he says the same thing. This was years ago. I didn't know anything about Sacha Baros when I did that trance work, when I was doing trance medium work trying to connect with Lindsey Graham. And he kept saying over and over and over again that they had something on him. I said, please elaborate. He said, I was at a party in Nantucket. And he kept saying it over and over again. I'm not going to tell you what I did, but I was there. I was at a party in Nantucket, and they have something on me. So now the pieces are starting to come together. because one of those parties, according to Sasha Riley Barrows, was attended by Lindsey Graham, but and also Justice Thomas.
Really?
So they were flying him in from Michigan. Isn't that sick as hell?
And
good grief.
But now it's starting to come together. Now, and it's just so horrible. It's just so horrible.
Yeah. And wasn't he about 11 years old?
They began to traffic him even earlier than that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the incident with Trump was when he was with 11.
A primatologist associated with the Jane Goodall association that was studying early childhood development, because Goodall had gotten interested in studying primate behavior.
Yes.
Was studying him because his behavior was unusual and he was undeveloped verbally. And he was in and out of foster care. So that was between 83 and 85 when he was in the foster care system, because he got bounced around in the foster care system because there were multiple times that his adopted father tried to kill him, and the foster families came in, or the foster system. So it's starting 13, 14 is when the abuse ends.
Sasha is the only he's the tip of the iceberg.
You think so?
I really think so.
Why do you say that, Joel?
There's a lot more victims, thousands of them.
We know that one of the girls out of Oklahoma died with a bullet to her head, and that her stepfather wanted to testify against Trump. Trump was threatening him.
Jeez.
Let's go ahead and look and see if there are excuse me, bodies at the Zorro Ranch and also near the Zorro Ranch.
Oh.
I can't believe that people could be this evil.
It's all going to come out.
Well, this is why Melania is trying to protect herself. This is why Melania is making these statements.
Once
Sickest
Trump is out, it's all going to come out.
I think so too. I think that's kind of what I would say from the last reading I did on her, that the truth is going to come out once he's gone. Oh my God.
It ain't going to be pretty.
This is, I agree, Whimsy. This is really dark stuff.
That's why I didn't want to do it. People have been asking me for months.
Cards are bearing it out, but it's like really yucky. Well, we were asking, are their bodies buried outside of the ranch next? And these are yucky cards, but yeah, whenever I get shadow card, that usually means something very ominous, sinister, dark, death, shame, despair. And then look at this, physical bodies. Yeah, I'm based on what I'm going to hear bodies are. I'm sorry.
Can you show that card again? Can you show that card to the audience?
Yeah.
Physical body.
I don't like doing readings like this.
Chuck, I got the same thing.
You got the same thing?
There's the casket.
Shit.
But they're saying that the bodies were moved. So they would have a party. The kids would wind up dead. They'd put them in a Ziploc and take them out, clean up the party, and they'd take the bodies with them. And it was the job of the handlers to dispose the body. The bodies were moved. Like this. Kids, fun and games in sport, according to the remote, fun and games got a little rough, and sometimes the kids didn't make it. So it was our job to clean up the mess and get rid of the bodies. Goes back to what Riley said, boys are hard to find. Don't worry, it's not going to happen to you. Party ended. They had a problem. Girl didn't do what the customer wanted. Take her out, shoot her in the head. But don't worry, you were traumatized about what you saw. Don't worry, Sasha. Boys are hard to find. We aren't going to do that to you. Now help clean up the mess, and we got to go to the next party. So that appears to be, you have a chariot carrying over the issue. However, the final outcome is the sun or a possibility of an exposure. I've dragged these people out and just destroy them. I mean, like, we must cleanse the earth of this kind of thing. That's what I think.
We must. Yeah.
Kill every damn one.
I mean, the only way you can
There's never
Yeah, I
enough
have,
justice.
but I think I have polyps because it's a post-nasal drip from my nose, and and I think it might be polyps.
Yeah.
Thank you for caring about me. That's really sweet.
Your people care a lot about you, Whimsy.
I know they do. I love them. They're great.
Me too. I didn't like that reading, but we had to do it.
They really,
the energy was like, oh, horrible.
Okay, so Paperback Writer explains this also, that they were doing snuff videos. Oh. So the whole point was to kill the kid.
Yeah.
But they killed that girl that he was at the party with. They shot her in the head and threw out the mattress and everything and set things up when Trump came in on a helicopter to the party. A VIP is coming, right, to the ranch. And so they set it up for, that was the day that Trump came in to molest him, and he tried to fight with Trump, and Trump said, okay, well then you do things to me. And so he serviced him, not to go into too much detail. And then when Trump bent over to receive the whatever, he got a tent spike instead. And then he had to be airlifted out of there, which of course, that's why they say Trump has his current problems because of that. And I can totally believe. Yeah, because I believe Sasha Riley. I mean, he's a pretty reliable witness. Well, and I think that's terrifying to the Trumps because he's a decorated, honorably discharged soldier out of the Iraq. And there are witnesses now saying, I was there when the snuff tape or when the pedophile tape came out, and I was there when Sergeant Riley had to come and speak to the commanding officer. So there are people that testified and went on records. I feel so bad for that guy. I can't believe that after everything that Sasha Riley, well, we just wish him all the best for his future life, because can you imagine having to live with that?
Can't even begin to imagine the trauma all of these people are dealing with. From Marion Blosick, I believe the children that were separated from their parents at the border during 45's first term that have never been found part of the ring, I
hope not.
Oh my God, because I was just, as I was reading that, I was thinking there were children separated from their parents that have never been reunited.
Right.
What did happen to those children? Remember, they were being kept in cages.
Can you believe the evil things that are happening in this country that nobody knows about?
It's horrific. I mean, there just are no words for this, but we're
going so dark and we want it to be so light.
I know.
How can you be light and positive when you have this in the White House? I mean, it's just so dark. It's just so evil. And I think that's really the reason why Melania. Anybody who doesn't believe or thinks that Sasha could be faking it should listen to his testimony.
Yeah.
And evidently he said the FBI finally got back to him.
Yeah. I'm getting just the worst intuitive hit that's what happened to a lot of those children.
That's really sick as fuck.
Parents.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know if you have your own opinion, Whimsy, but
this goes back to the questions we've had that people asked if we could address the issue with ICE and what is happening with ICE and missing children.
That's right.
So
because
we had that question. We didn't address it last time.
Yeah,
we've had it several times, and I can't go there. And I guess, you guys, it's so dark.
I don't especially want to go there either, But there are missing children. Just as before, separated from their parents. And then even the children that are accounted for, they're not getting proper medical care. They're being kept in cages. They're not being allowed to bathe, being forced to eat bad, rotten food off the floor. I mean, the trauma that's being done to these children.
Why would you want to? I must be just missing the whole point.
Yeah.
Which is what's the point? What's the point of, because you can? Power makes you right. If you've got the power, then you're right. Is that what we learned from this world? I think we all have power. We have choices.
Yes.
A cleansing is coming.
Yeah.
Well, Oshun,
Yeah, Oshun.
Well, that is what the Babalaos, the spiritual leadership of certain African tribes, but also Native American tribes, also have talked about this spirit over the earth right now.
Yeah.
In the Chinese calendar, of course, this year we have the fire horse, which often will bring violent upheaval. That it is associated with the Knight of Wands in the Tarot. But over the next few years, we have another energy over the earth, which they speak about, and that is the energy of Oshun. And that she comes into the world to teach women self-respect. Mm-hmm. She looks at the mirror and says, I love you. And those kinds of energies that are associated with the power and the beauty of raising young girls up to love and respect themselves. And it just feels to me like this is part of a greater war on the vulnerable, not just women and children, but just using how can we all use this as a point of reference of ways that we can become more compassionate?
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. It's not just women and children. Don't you feel it's also certain men as well who have been victimized?
Yeah. It's the vulnerable.
The vulnerable.
Sasha Riley. Sasha Riley was a boy. Look what happened to him.
Yeah. I know. Just unspeakable. From the Blake 59.
Oh, thank you, Blake, for that
donation. Look at that, a donation.
Yes, very kind.
Thank you.
Very kind.
Helps cover for the live stream.
Thank you very much. There are fears Tucker Carlson could be the next. Oh dear God! There are fears Tucker Carlson could be the next GOP nominee, leading with anti-Israel America First, trying to hurt Newsom or Kelly, given their practical pro-Israel anti-Bibi.
I'm pro-Israel, anti-Bibi.
Yeah.
No, but I think he's a horrible person, and I'm an Israeli citizen. You see.
Yeah. But then, will the Democrats still have the best chance in 2028?
Yes.
I think that Israel. I hate to say it, but Israel is finished if we can't get back to liberal values and inclusion. And a one-state solution. I mean, or at the very least, a two-state solution where everybody loves and respects each other. And I think that Bibi is a disaster. I think he's the worst prime minister in our history. And I don't think we're gonna make it as a country if we don't get rid of this nut job.
Yeah,
Bibi's way too far.
He's insane. He's destroyed Israel. Look, it's not just the Palestinians he's made life hell for. He's made life hell for Israelis.
I agree.
I mean, women are walking around in burqas in Jerusalem. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
What the hell is this? Ben Gurion didn't even want a Ben Gurion didn't even want a country. He's like, I just bought some land from the Turks, and they had these communes, these communist socialist communes, and they had Arabs and Jews living together. Yep. There wasn't even exclusively Jewish, and it was under the Turks. It had what this new thing is. It had nothing to do with Ben Gurion. Ben Gurion was in Turkey when the First World War broke out. He was becoming a Turkish attorney. He was all about the Ottoman Empire. So
Golda Meir, I thought, was fantastic.
Yeah, yes. She came in 1919 under the even earlier, I think. Yeah, she was a Palestinian. They all had Palestinian passports given to them by the Turks. They were Palestinians, and there were 6,000 Jews in Jerusalem prior to before 1945. There were. No, I think before World War II. No, pardon me. In 1885, they wrote a book about Palestine, and the majority of the people living in Jerusalem were Jewish. The Palestinians the majority were Jewish, but a lot of the Jews converted to Islam because if you weren't Muslim, you had to pay the jizya, and that's a tax on all non-Muslims. So a lot of the Jews never left. They weren't occupiers. It's just that the name changed in the 9th century, and a lot of the Palestinians that are fighting with are fellow Jewish people. That's the great tragedy. When they do their DNA, they come back with the same DNA as Ashkenazi Jews. Yeah. They share that because the Ashkenazi Jew is a small pool of Jews that had a bottleneck from the ghettos, but that population gets traced back to the Middle East. So they share more DNA with Palestinians than with Europeans. This is how crazy and stupid this whole war is. You're killing each other and your relatives. I mean, it's just so insane. The whole thing is just absolutely insane.
They did a study recently, and they found out the Palestinians and the Israelis are genetically identical.
That's right. Yeah, well, my DNA goes back to Sephardic Jews from the 9th century who were Berbers. Same as you. You're a Berber too, right? Out of North Africa. Look at me. I look as white as God knows what, because I'm also part British. My father was a Brit. But the Jewish side of my family, from the 9th century, they were a bunch of North African camel herders, so yeah, it's really sad to see it. And Bibi has worked really hard on terroring people, just getting us to kill each other. Get the fuck out. He's a Putin puppet. I can't stand him. Hopefully he'll leave as soon as possible. We need Benny Gantz. That's what we need. The only thing that's going to save and create unity and bring people together is Benny Gantz, which is the Unity Party. And it's all about love each other, unify. Let's come together and stop hurting each other. We're family, and we need to take care of each other. I love Benny Gantz.
Let's be happy again.
Let's take care of each other. Let's go ahead and see the future of Tucker Carlson. Of course, Tucker Carlson was given a house in Qatar. Qatar bought him a brand new house, and he is on the Qatar payroll. And so is Candace Owen. They're both making big money from Qatar, as are many universities. They've invested heavily in both the Republican and Democratic parties. Sure. Tucker Carlson.
Nice.
Worst prime minister ever.
Trying to make sense out of this.
I liked Ben Gurion a lot.
Oh yeah, did you see him in his? He loved Turkey. He wanted to be a Turk. He was more than happy to live as a Turkish citizen.
He had that wild white hair.
Yeah, I love.
He always had a smile on his face.
Yeah. Well, I took this one straight to the pendulum. I got a no on him being the next GOP nominee, but that's just based on the energy of the moment. But it's interesting that the GOP is involved in this, because I get there are a lot of decisions being going on about business, business affairs to be taken care of. There's some creativity going on here, like, well, could we spend this? But I got the family card, meaning the GOP together, like Tucker, your family, you're one of us. Can we make this happen with some creativity? But I get there's a lot of denial, a lot of risk. There's shadow around him. I asked the pendulum, I just got no.
Here's a picture, by the way, of him at university in Istanbul.
Wow.
This is what Zionism looked like. Be one of the team. Just be a fellow Turk. I'm just a simple Turkish man. Live and let live with Yitzhak Ben-Zvi in Istanbul, learning to be a lawyer in 1912. He didn't want to conquer anybody. He lived with the people. He ate the food of the people. He lived with the people. He loved with the people. None of this crazy lunacy, wingnut, psycho, freaky BB crap. And have you ever seen him on kibbutz with the early Palestinians under Turkey? Let me show you this. I just love these pictures. It's like, why can't we just get back to that? It's like, have you seen these these are just amazing. These old pictures. These people, by the way, Jews and non-Jews were working together. Not everybody. I mean, they were coming really close to complete unity until the British came, and then the British had a policy of divide and conquer. But Palestinians and Jews and Arabs, they were like coming together, man. Look at that. They were making it happen. Those are Palestinians and Jews living together. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? You know what they were doing? Farming. They're farming. They're just farmers. I just think it's fucking fantastic.
It looks like a worker's bee.
Yeah.
In the Midwest.
Some awesome stuff, man. This is some good stuff.
My grandfather was a Quaker, and they would have, if somebody lost a barn or something like that, all the farmers would get together, and they would have what they call a worker's bee.
Right.
Where
and
all the farmers in the community would come in.
Yeah.
And they would build a barn.
Look at that.
For a family.
I'm trying to think of that movie with Harrison Ford.
What do you see there? What do you see there? It's beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? Those are Jews and Palestinians living in oasis. They're building a freaking oasis. I love them. Look at all those Arabs and all those Jews loving on each other. This was the original vision. No need for a country. They were going to do it under the Turks. And then, the British came in. And the British fucked everything up. They took away the oasis. They destroyed the oasis. But I love seeing these pictures of Palestinians together in oasis. It makes me feel we can get there again, people. We can do this again.
Yeah.
We've done it before, and we can do it again.
Fighting.
Yeah, we've done it before. Look at that. That's beautiful. Half those guys, these are Arabs and Jewish people coming together, man. This is good. This is good. We don't have to hurt each other. We got to go back to the old ways. Remember how we started.
Back to basics.
Fellow Sephardi.
Okay, so from the Blake 59, Whimsy, I'm Sephardic as well. Bibi will go. I'm Jewish, pro-Israel, anti-Bibi. Want a two-state solution. Days numbered like that of both Trump and Putin. We will prevail, and may Kamala rise even to Attorney General. And we've been saying that she would be a fabulous Attorney General. That or Supreme Court appointment.
But I think if you have true peace and you have oasis, then a two-state solution won't matter because we'll love each other and we'll just go back and forth. And it'll just be just like the United States where you have 50 states and everybody gets along. You can just visit different states. And we are greater than the enemy. We are greater than love is. Remember, love is the most powerful emotion in the world. Zionism means that the Jewish people have a place to go in the event of a Holocaust that is safe. It's not about religion. It's about if you can be culturally Jewish. I'm very culturally Jewish. Anybody who watches the show is like, oh, we know who she is. But I'm not ultra-Orthodox or anything like that. But I definitely connect to the culture. It's definitely the people I grew up with that identity. But I'm not ultra-Orthodox. So it was created as a place to avoid the Holocaust and the persecution that was happening under the Tsar, that they would have a safe haven because no country would give them refuge. Some Jews escaped to the United States during the Holocaust, but many Golda Meir's family escaped Europe because there were pogroms going on. The Tsar was, doing horrible things. So we needed to get the hell out and go somewhere safe. So the purpose was a safe haven. So what Ben-Gurion was trying to do was to work with the Turkish government. If we buy the land and purchase it from you, can you sell us some land for communes so that people escaping oppression in Europe? And that was the deal he was working on when he was becoming a lawyer out of Turkey. But then Palestine, which was under Turkey, fell after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, after they lost the First World War. And then it went under the World Congress, it went under British control. And Britain did the same thing in Africa, which was divide and conquer. And so they began spreading rumors to Muslims in, for example, Hebron, saying, well, they're killing Muslims in Jerusalem. You know that, aren't you? And so they would instigate these fights, and then hundreds of Jews, men, women, and children were massacred in Hebron. Then they would go and do the same thing to the Jews. Well, you know what the Muslims are doing? Fight, 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 fight. Now, from a Buddhist perspective, because I'm a nice Jewish Buddhist, from a Jewish perspective, the person that instigates the fight is the truly angry person in the room. It's the person that sits back and says, I'm glad you're killing each other. Fight some more. Fight, fight, fight. That's why we have to be careful when we watch cable news, because the whole purpose of cable news is to get us to fight. Fight, fight, fight. We have to think, is this good for the health of America? Are we going to get to peace? Are we going to come together? Well, our country's getting sicker and sicker and sicker while everybody fights, and spreads rumors about each other. And it feels to me like it's just the same attitude of it's just another extension of hegemony and trying to get people to fight and divide and conquer. And that's why I really discourage people from watching that stuff. I discourage it on this channel. But at the same time, you have to acknowledge that Donald Trump is a freaking pedophile and a horrible, evil, Satan-worshipping monster. And if I were his wife, I would take the money and run, and I would do everything in my power to redeem myself and to throw myself at the mercy of my church and of humanity, and I would serve humanity, because she has not committed any cardinal sins. As a Catholic, she hasn't committed murder. She hasn't raped anybody. You know, there are certain cardinal things you cannot be forgiven. And God's not going to, maybe go to God directly, because you cannot be, they're cardinals. She hasn't done that. However, her husband has. And if she's really having this spiritual awakening, and it looks like she is, you have to first confess. If you're Catholic, you have to admit to what she's done, repent, and then vow to change. There has to be follow through. You have to change.
Oh, she's got a good lawyer.
Oh, I think that's definitely what's going on. She can't just keep propping up this psychopath.
No.
She can be redeemed. I don't think her husband can.
Yeah, I think she knows how to take care of herself.
Is that? I think so. Well, I don't know. With these Michael Wolff allegations, I don't know.
Too much corruption.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
From Moonstars Communicate, isn't that where the bump Orange's menace is going to escape to? The bump just curse Tucker Carlson out.
He's not happy with Tucker Carlson. I know that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Do you think? I don't see him getting anywhere, because
you mean Tucker?
Yeah, I don't think anybody likes Tucker except.
Oh no, that was in my reading. No.
He's a joke.
Oops.
No, I got a strong no on that one.
I don't think he has.
Serious.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think he just doesn't have the support. He's pissed off Jewish people. The only people backing him is Qatar, which is interesting. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, because Iran is an ally. Well, before we close today, I wanted to close with a positive note, and that has to do with a conversation that people had asked if we could talk a little bit. We do get requests because I am into naturopathic medicine, if we could talk a little bit about this idea of plant spirits. So we thought that we would have a conversation with people about plant spirits. And I do have some samples, but the reason why the conversation is coming up is because of the work of shamans out of Peru, which are trying to help people in the West be introduced to the cosmic consciousness that comes from the plant kingdom. And the basic idea is that all plants have a consciousness. Just as you have a consciousness and I have a consciousness, so too do plants have an overriding spirit. Not only do plants have an overriding spirit, but they want to communicate with us. They want us to enter into a relationship with them. And in many cases, they have something to teach us. This, of course, is some artwork that was done by a shaman to describe some of the visions that happen when taking the ayahuasca brew. And so I thought it might be nice if we show people a little bit of the ayahuasca brew.
Yeah.
Now, ayahuasca is a combination of two plants. What's interesting about Aya is that we don't really even know how the shamans discovered to mix these two plants together. The vine of the dead, Aya, and it was combined with a plant, an MAOI inhibitor. Aya, I believe, is the MAOI inhibitor, and then the actual hallucinogen is it's paired with another plant that has dimethyltryptophan in it, and this is an example of Mimosa hostilis, which would be the MAOI, this would actually, be high in dimethyltryptophan, and dimethyltryptophan is the hallucinogen, and it appears that the dimethyltryptophan is released by the human brain prior to death. And so that is why people believe that the vine of the dead can allow you to enter into these realms. And it can be great if you're dealing with grief or you want to, and I have taken Aya, and allows you to connect with life on the other side. And also you can communicate with people who have died. But this is the mimosa, which is one of the plants. And then we'll show you the Aya. This is the sacred Aya. And there are different types of Aya, ayahuasca. Please forgive me if you are, if you get good at Latin. Banisteriopsis is how you pronounce the Latin. This is the yellow. There's the red. There's the black. And there is the yellow. Yellow, of course, is one of the most mild. And that's usually the first Aya that they introduce Westerners to because it's the most gentle. You can go into much more intense visions with the red and the black. And the purpose of doing Aya, and it can take a long time, it's a purgative, and so it can help you purge, but it can also help you enter the death realm or realms outside of your body through visions. You may be able to resolve issues you have with those who have passed, or also face your own fears when it comes to facing death. I did ayahuasca one time. I got sick as a dog. It will make you vomit. Sometimes they will put a little bit of tobacco into the ayahuasca to help with the purge. And I was able to see the grid. I was able to see the sacred grid. And the sacred geometry of this matrix, which blew my mind because I didn't expect to see the actual matrix. And it was like these 3D structures like honeycombs. That was what the matrix of the earth looks like. And inside of the honeycomb was ancient writing that looked like Hebrew. Some people say it looks like kanji, Japanese. Other people say Hebrew. But it appears to, who the hell knows who put us in this matrix? But it appears that Earth is a matrix. And when you enter into the Aya, you're able to break free from the matrix and enter into this realm of consciousness free from the matrix. And these are some of the things that you might see under the influence of Aya. It's a female plant. She does communicate with you. She will try and teach you. The Aya that I met with kind of beat the crap out of me. She kind of dealt with my arrogance. I'm like, should I go study Aya? After 8 hours of vomiting my guts out.
Oh my God. 8 hours?
Yeah, as Aya, the spirit of Aya was leaving, she looked at me and said, if you want more of this, sure. You want to be a shaman? You want to study with me, little girl? You want to come to Peru and come live with the people and learn? well, be prepared for more of this. And you know how sensitive I am. My stomach, I just a vestibular migraine. And I'm like, I don't think that this plant is going to be very kind to me on my spiritual journey.
No.
But what was the plants that they used for polis back in the old days?
For what?
Oh, polis.
What's polis?
That's where it's kind of like a bag mixed with different kind of herbs and stuff.
A poultice?
A poultice.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, a poultice would be anything that contains tannins, usually to draw out toxins. We will do for a poultice, depending upon what kind of poultice you want to.
Both of my grandmothers were good at that.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds like an old granny in the Appalachian Mountains making a poultice.
Yes. Yeah. And I remember she had a jar, one of those metal jars, about this big, and it had a green, kind of like a green. It looked like Vicks, but it wasn't. But it was kind of mint flavor. But she used that for all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
Burns, whatever.
Yeah.
It was Dr. So-and-so on there in big letters.
Yeah.
They still sell it.
Now, I always tell people, if you want to have a mystical experience, then, in a semi-fasting state or on a empty stomach, you could make a strong brew of the chamomile tea. Now, some people will boil the chamomile tea until you can get as much of the extraction of the chamomile as possible. You want to get a good quality organic chamomile and make it good and strong. And if it's too strong, you can add more water. But if you were to fast on chamomile, then the plant chamomile is much more gentle than ayahuasca, and you could communicate with the spirit realm and the spirit of the chamomile. I've certainly done chamomile fasting.
I remember a few
and
months ago.
I had profound spiritual healing working with the spirit of chamomile.
Yeah, we talked about that a few months ago. When did you do that, Whimsy?
It was a couple months ago, and the spirit message I received from chamomile when I was doing my nightly fast. So instead of dinner, I would just fast on the chamomile. So all the spirit was asking of me is to skip one meal and to come work with me, Whimsy. And so I did that. And the message I received from the plant is you have to love yourself and be gentle with yourself. And I will always be here, Whimsy. Chamomile loves you, and I will always be here. Anytime you need to come talk to me, I will be here for you.
That's a beautiful.
And love yourself and know that you are cherished. And just the main message I received from chamomile.
That says it all, doesn't it?
I will always be with you if you ever need me. Just sit down, give gratitude for what you have, and have a cup of chamomile tea. And so it's interesting because chamomile was the first herb I learned about.
Yeah.
And
then it was holy basil, wasn't it?
Yes. Then I did a fasting on holy basil, and holy basil is different. Holy basil is the spirit of a surgeon, a spiritual surgeon, similar to like John of God kind of energy, in the sense that holy basil, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do some deep spirit work on you, and we're going to go in and we're going to remove your demons. We're going to remove the deepest trauma in your core essence. Now, if you feel like you need to pair it with something else that's going to be calm, that's going to aid, chamomile works very well with a little bit of lavender. They are sister plants. They work well together. Holy basil, same thing. Holy basil is sacred, and it's a sacred surgeon. It has more of a masculine energy than chamomile. He will go in and he will do the deep inner healing for you if you fast on holy basil. Now, he likes a little bit of rose, I find, and that tempers some of that yang energy you get from the holy basil. But I will often communicate with the plants. Of course, I have close to 400 plants now. And I sent a remedy to someone today I was working with them, and I've learned to trust myself. Like I use Chat GPT and Grok in order to do my formulas. And I'll say, well, this patient has adrenal fatigue or kidney failure. So I'm going to be doing what are called the Jing herbs, to strengthen that kidney function. But I want a liver tonic or whatnot. I have a pretty good idea, excuse me, of what those herbs are going to be. And then I will check my data to make sure, I don't want any dangerous drug herb interactions with my client or anything like that. And I got the remedy correctly. In fact, I think that the computer was too conservative because I said, no, I want to add these 3 additional herbs. And then the computer checked and said, those are wonderful additions and not contraindicated for your patient. And I was like, so I felt very confident about, and I always pray before, for guidance. I love the plants. I believe they are conscious beings.
Yes.
They have a consciousness that overrides the life force in that plant. They are here to serve us and teach us.
Yeah.
And I also just feel like people need to know that you don't have to do something as aggressive as Aya, that fasting on chamomile will change your life. It will change your life. Yeah. And it's not particularly expensive or dangerous.
Yeah. I tell you, Whimsy, I really want to encourage you to write this book. I will do illustrations for you, but I think you've got something very special here. But, it's interesting how plants communicate with each other. They will send out chemical signals through the soil, through the air, through the soil. Like if a plant has been attacked by an insect, they will send out chemical signals to the other plants to help protect them.
That's correct.
Yeah. I was looking at some of that today. I knew we were going to talk about this today.
Yeah. So they are a conscious beings, but they appear to have a collective consciousness overriding the vibration of that plant.
Yeah. A collective consciousness. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah. It's really, really interesting. And some resonate with certain organs more than others. I always think when I see asparagus that the asparagus plant is just telling me to, I'm gonna stick it to you. Like I always feel that kind of energy when I deal with the energy of asparagus. But asparagus is focused also with kidney purification. And it's interesting that we often will get a scent to our kidneys when we're eating asparagus because it's an astringent and it's attracted to removing impurities from the kidneys. So in answer to your question, asparagus probably wants to work very closely with that patient. I know you have a patient that you're working with right now. I would think about that. Some of the foods we eat every day are profound spiritual healers. Artichoke leaf is a profound liver tonic herb.
Yes.
And its purpose energetically, artichoke leaf is to heal stagnant anger. So the purpose of artichoke leaf is to help you if you are trapped in an anger cycle.
Well, don't they even say that in Chinese medicine that we hold anger in the liver?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good. Okay, we have a comment, and I think we're gonna. We can talk about we'll talk about mycology next week, and I'll show everyone my mycology collection. Good to see you, Joseph. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you. And the Blake 59, a donation of $4.99.
Thank you
so much. Got to ask before we go, do you all foresee a strong political future for Kamala? I'm a cautious optimist, but fear the nation passing her side. Yeah, that's what I feel too.
Please. Oh my God, what a righteous woman to be AG.
That's what, I definitely see that. If not AG, then an appointment to the Supreme Court. Yeah, Supreme Court. But would you actually call that a political future, though?
Well, other people in their 60s,
I guess you would,
the criticism, I don't think you can criticize her being 60 on the Supreme Court because other people have gone into the Supreme Court older than her in their late 60s.
Young 60s.
And there are people that have been older than her and they have served very well for 10, 15, 20 years on the Supreme Court.
So Kamala takes care of herself.
Yeah, so I don't, if I were the president of the United States, I would invite her in. I would treat her with the utmost respect, and I would say, which do you want, AG or Supreme Court?
Sharp. She's a perfect legal.
Because you're my woman, and I am your president, and I will give you whatever you want, girlfriend. You are my girlfriend.
She's going to be a cobra.
Well,
I love her. All right. So let's,
two cards that I just got two. They're really good. I got leadership card. Absolutely. And I got new life. I think yes. She's got a bright future ahead of her. But Whimsy, what do you have?
She doesn't know what she wants to do yet. Call me when they gets into the White House. She's got the moon card over her. It's a heavy load. It's a heavy responsibility. That it's like, do I really want to do this again?
Well, and also, doesn't the moon mean vague?
Well, it's also psychic channel, moon, lunacy, confusion.
Yeah.
Her house of, she's very pretty. 10 of Wands is her house of opposition. So that could be, it's a heavy load. Her hope and fear is the Knight of Cups, false knights, and seduction. So she fears for the future of the country. And it's like, how much do I really want to sacrifice here for the good of the nation? Yeah. And she's heartbroken. So I think that she doesn't know if she has the mental and emotional strength to do this again.
She's got a good husband.
Oh, I think she's going to pull it together by 2020.
Her husband's going to pull her. Her husband's going to push her.
The best place for her, based on spirit at this time, is they would like her to come back as Attorney General.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's almost like she was born.
High Priestess.
Boy, I'll tell you, she's really going to go after her.
I feel like she was born to be Attorney General.
Also, the other reason why you should be terrified if you broke the law is not only did she get the High Priestess, but she got the Three of Pentacles, building a case or architecture. She could really destroy a lot of bad people if she was the AG. So I'm thinking that the biggest, I love my Joe Biden, you know I do. I love Uncle Joe, but biggest mistake he ever made was taking her as VP and not giving her the power that she really deserved, which was making her Attorney General, because we wouldn't be in the current situation we're in if she had been the Attorney General. And I truly believe that.
You're right.
You know, instead he made her don't even touch a pencil. I mean, how did that help serve the country? It didn't. And I think I 100% agree with her that it was a huge mistake. And I think that we are all paying for that mistake. Joe, I love you, but it was a huge mistake to not make her AG. She was not suited to the VP, not if you're going to make her just hold a pencil. Yeah. And she could have saved a lot of lives, and we would not be in this freaking disaster that we're in with ICE and all these children being zip-locked and zip-tied and everything else. And I feel really strongly about that.
You know, Whimsy, I'm recalling like a year or two ago, you did a reading and you picked up that Kamala was really not happy being vice president. I remember that.
She couldn't do anything.
Like 2 years ago. I remember that.
She was incapacitated. She was an intelligent, educated woman who had been AG of the largest economy of just about any state in the Union, 1/5 of the world economy. She was very familiar with financial fraud coming in. I mean, that was her jam. What the hell are you doing?
And Merrick Garland did nothing.
He wanted to be politically correct and not hurt anybody's feelings. It's like, you don't need, that is not who you need as AG. You need somebody who's going to make tough decisions, who can handle large financial fraud cases, which was 90% of what she was doing out of California.
Yes.
And child human trafficking was the other big thing that she was working on. Hello, this girl was made to be the AG.
Going back to when she was in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, a friend of mine knew her. He lives in San Francisco, and he knew her. And he said very much the real deal. Very, very compassionate, very driven, very heartfelt.
She's all that in a bag of chips.
Yeah. He was telling me that his mother and her mother were ill and dying at the same time. And that's what bonded them together. They had a lot of great conversations.
Was Merrick Garland threatened?
Threatened?
I think he was just a gentle guy that didn't want to fight with anybody. And that's, an emotional reaction. So you don't want anyone to be mad at you, and you don't want anyone to hurt you. And then don't be the AG, because you're going to have to make some tough calls. He might have, he was a concession by Obama. Obama didn't even know whether he was pro-choice or not. And it was a disaster appointment. And I understand that he wanted her to leave early, so that somebody else could potentially take the win, like so that he could win, and then he was going to give her the VP spot. But it was a huge mistake. It disempowered her. It made her look inept, and it just was a disaster. It was a disaster.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it was. And that's coming straight from her.
Yeah. Have you read her book?
Yes, and she second-guessed herself all the time. She second-guessed herself all the time. She, if I'm going to be able to do this and take over for you, I better build some legs and some competency, and I can't do that if you are. He micromanaged her like she was a 2-year-old and not a competent adult. That is sexist.
No primaries.
That is sexist.
No primaries. That's what hurt the
Democrats.
Yes.
Yeah. She said that.
but if anyone had a special election.
Yeah, but you know what? She would have won the primary.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I tend to agree with Joel, though. I think it would have helped her quite a bit had there been primaries. I mean, she was just basically appointed.
No time because he wouldn't step down.
I know.
He completely incapacitated her, so she couldn't do anything, and then he wouldn't step down.
Joe Biden promised during his first term that he was going to step down.
Yes, he did.
And have primaries in 2024. Did you know that?
I didn't know. I knew he promised that he was going to step down. I didn't know that about the primaries.
He didn't say he was going to step down. He said he was going to step back.
Well, so he was supposed to be the guy that mellowed everything out during COVID, and then he was supposed to step down, and that didn't happen. As I can do another 4 years, and that's the point at which everything fell apart.
Yeah.
He thought that.
And we're not ragging on Joe. We love Joe. We're just saying that these were bad decisions.
Yes.
He wasn't ready to be anything after 2024.
Well, we're going to go ahead and close. We've been here for a solid 2 hours. So let's go ahead and close it. Joel, if anybody wants to reach you regarding veterans benefits, talk a little bit about what you do and how people can contact you.
Well, I've been a VA counselor for the post office, and I've been doing it off and on for about 30 years now. And if anybody has any questions or problems with the VA, send me an email at joeltilson@msn.com, and I'll be more than happy to help.
You are a great man, and we're very grateful to have you. Thank you, Joel.
It's beautiful what you're doing.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Chuck, please go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I just said that was it. I was going to ask
that was it. Okay.
So please say what you're doing.
Well, what am I doing? Yes. If you wish to reach me for a reading, or you'd like me to do a piece of artwork for you, I'm very good at channeling messages from
medical consultation.
Medical consultation. Thank you, Whimsy. I love doing readings for people, and you can reach me at dransfieldchuck, one word, at gmail.com. Also, I have my channel, Chuck's Captivating Chronicles. I have a chat show on Mondays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, or I have been talking a lot about old Hollywood and so forth, but I've been doing more readings on there. I have a channeled message from the founder of CBS, William S. Paley. I'm going to be putting more of those on.
Good.
Thank you. Yeah. I love doing it very much. And Whimsy.
All right. My name is Dr. Whimsy Anderson. I'm a naturopathic doctor and a medical intuitive. I work with the herbs plant consciousness, as you guys got to see. I'm also a tarot card reader and remote viewer. If you'd like to have a session with me, you can book me through Booksy, and all that information is below the video. I'm sorry to say we are out of time here, but gosh, this was other than the horrible stuff about child abuse.
Wednesday's good, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, my love.
It's been fun.
All right.
You guys, to everyone out there.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
All right. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. And we will see you all next time. Thank you, everyone, for everything.
Bye, everybody.
We love you guys. Thank you. Bye.